My name is John Ross with Finance on a Budget. In this video, I want to talk about the not so obvious reasons why you are financially unstable. By the end of this video, you will have a better grasp of all the additional things in your life that could be compromising your finances. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, and ring the bell notification. Good financial planning starts with a choice. Navigating through the tricky waters of finances and budgets can be overwhelming. Chances are you don't have a clearly defined set of financial goals that will inevitably land you where you are right now, broke, desperate, and lost. You need to have a clear set of goals for yourself. These need to include the short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals. These money goals are effective ways that you can build momentum towards wealth. The thing is, many people believe that they're broke because they're just not making enough money. If you really have a crappy job, then yes, your lack of income may be contributing to your financial inadequacy. But the reality is that it's the way you see your money that influences your financial situation. Even if you had enough income to cover all your groceries, bills, and other necessary expenses plus a surplus of $50, you would still be broke if you spent that extra $50 on cigarettes. With this logic, being broke then becomes a choice. And it's a choice that you can turn positive if you really wanted to. You're financially unstable because of lifestyle choices. Another pitfall you could be falling into is not investing or not having a decent side hustle. Think of it this way. With just one income source, your job, you're basing your income on a single source each and every day. That's just not practical when there are other options available, not to even mention losing that job. Maybe you put a lot more value into spending over investing. And no, buying lottery tickets is not investing. The lottery is just a poor man's tax. There is a video on YouTube made by Mr. Beast. He bought $100,000 worth of tickets and he only won $80,000 back. So save your money for something better. Even 1% back is way better than 20% loss. Without investments, you're not earning any passive income because you're underestimating how much money you can actually make. If you feel like you're stuck in an endless cycle of paying bills with every paycheck, it's only because you think you're stuck. There are actually other options. If you're not learning any new skills, you're staying stagnant. And that just means that you will have absolutely no room for expansion. And this leaves you in a rut on a daily basis with your career. You have to make sure that you read articles and books, watch videos, listen to podcasts, and check out conferences that will either teach you new things or keep you current with your profession. It's the only way to move forward with your own education. This doesn't mean that you should go for the big score either. Most of us are always looking to go big or go home with lofty dreams about being the top seller on Amazon. Instant millionaires are unicorns. You can't hope to be one. And the best thing you can do is start small so that you can have something to supplement your income later. I used to sell on Amazon. I had 2 stores. One was really safe with board games. I received an order, I passed it on to a dropshipping company. I received about 30% profit for sending an email, worth about $7. My second store was refurbished cell phones from China. My profit margin was more about $100 per sale. However, as you can imagine how cutthroat the competition was, they would actually leave negative reviews when they didn't even buy anything. Amazon actually requires positive feedback, not on the product, but on the seller. And they never ever promote it. So one negative next to 100 sales was a huge loss at 10% and made me a liability. They shut down both of my accounts and held on to $2,500 for more than 3 months. To this day, I never really recovered after that. It was a death blow to me. I was so far in debt, I spent several years struggling financially. Spoiler alert, no, I don't actually recommend Amazon as a side hustle. Future video. If you don't have clear goals, you're wasting your time. Have you ever considered how in poor locations they still have corner stores and salons? How did they get there? If it's owned by someone who lives in the neighborhood, often they are, then where did the money come from? How can they afford it? I can tell you that most likely they have good credit. That comes from paying bills on time and managing their money. This gives them the ability to apply for a small business loan. Just because the system dealt them a crappy hand doesn't make them dumb. They know that they have the ability to apply for government grants, which is free money they don't even have to pay back. So I know what you're going to ask. How can you get in on that too, right? Yeah, well, next comes something that may strike a nerve, so brace yourself. You're not ready yet, and you're not disciplined enough. You're probably also all bark and no bite when it comes to your financial situation, and you're more of a thinker than a doer. You value the unnecessary luxuries in life too much, and are content with just wasting your time. You can always see the problem in front of you, but never far enough to see the solution. It really all boils down to self-discipline when it comes to expenses. Forego the hourly mindset and living paycheck to paycheck. Don't go with a how much does this cost per month mentality either. Whenever possible, opt to go for annual payments, as these can save you discounts of 5% or even 10%. Forego the freelancer mindset too. You ever hear of that? Here's what I mean. You feel like you don't have enough experience to deserve a higher pay, or you end up working for free. You're too embarrassed to self-promote. You want to hit a broader audience with a jack-of-all-trades mindset, but you never define a narrower, specific audience. You're afraid of too much competition, and you're afraid to start, and you feel like you should only begin when you're ready. Guess what? This kind of mindset is a recipe for disaster. Consider this. 20 to 23 years ago, I worked 8 hours a day for $22 an hour. That's $176 a day gross. After taxes, that's only $114 a day, and I was stuck there for 8 hours, usually 10 because I was salary. It's hard to pick up a side job when you spend all day working, right? I was too tired to get some $10 an hour job, so I did nothing for years. Eventually, I realized I had more than enough computer repair experience from my day job. I was responsible for hundreds of computers and their users. So one day, I designed a sign, stuck it in the yard, and suddenly I was a computer repair person charging $65 an hour. I could schedule the repairs when I got out of work or on the weekends. My clients didn't know I was scheduling around a day job, and they didn't care either. Fast forward, I now charge $150 an hour, I write off most of my expenses, and my taxes are often quite low. True story. Yesterday I worked for 2 hours. Today I worked for 2 hours. I made more money in 4 hours than I did in that 40-hour-a-week job. 4-hour work week, anyone? And that's actually my side hustle. I mean, those calls don't come in all the time. I regularly do retouching, weddings, portraits, etc. Then, in my free time, I started 2 YouTube channels. During the pandemic, I recognized the problem and planned for the future. In the past, I've imported iPods and cell phones from China, and I've sold board games via drop shipping on Amazon and eBay, just to name a few. These were all wonderful sources of income. You just need to be willing to learn how to do it and then actually do it. Number 4, you don't have the right set of people around you. Another main mistake you could be doing is surrounding yourself with the wrong kind of people. You're not networking beyond your own circle of friends, and you're busy trying to spend because society tells you to. In this sense, your own circle of friends could be hurting you financially. You could also be hanging out with toxic people who are just as broke, or that take advantage of you. They try to get you to spend on them. Sure, buying a friend a drink or two is fine. Loaning money for a car is not. A toxic work environment is the same thing. This could be as simple as getting into smoking, drinking, or drugs. I mean, cigarettes are $70 a week. Weekend drinking is like $40 a week. And marijuana is like $150 an ounce. Would you really be spending money like this if it wasn't for outside peer pressure? You could also be getting your advice from the wrong people. Funny story. I was in a department store a few months ago looking for some clothing. I was next to the register when I heard the usual, "Your total for today is $85. Would you like to sign up for a store credit card? You would get 25% off today's purchase." She replied back, "Oh, I'm not going to be approved. My credit score is too low. It's like 525. The girl she was shopping with chimed in, "Then what do you care? Just try anyway." So they ran the card, and everyone involved, including me, was shocked. She was approved for $300. The bank should never have approved her. Now, this is bad enough because she was clearly an easy target for all the interest fees, late fees, and over-the-limit fees. But what bothered me more was that she put all the stuff back into her cart and ran back into the store to spend the rest of the money they just gave her. She let the store clerk influence her. She let her friend encourage her. Now she has another $25 a month bill that she will never get paid back because she obviously has no self-control. Poor money habits led you here, but there is still hope. Finally, you're financially unstable because you simply have a terrible worldview about money. For instance, do you buy extended warranties? These companies feed on your paranoia that something will inevitably break. Some things may need the extra protection, like maybe your car or a new MacBook Pro, that you shouldn't be buying anyway. But most cases, they're there to just leech as much of your money as they can. At the register, my wife once paid insurance of $4 for a $15 toy. I blew my lid. If it breaks, buy it again. Who cares? You also may be paying too much on home or car insurance. If you have a $500 emergency fund, then you only need a $500 deductible. If you have a $1,000 emergency fund, then you don't need a $500 deductible. Insurance is for worst-case scenarios that you can't afford to cover on your own. As long as you have an emergency fund and it covers the deductible, then you're fine. What do you think about my observations in this article? Did you find any of them helpful, or am I completely missing the core issues? Please leave a comment below. Be sure to subscribe, give this video a like, and ring the bell notification. Thanks for watching.